Good evening, everyone. This is the January 12th, 2022 regular meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board of the Borough of River Edge. Happy New Year to all. Welcome back. We're going to start with our usual statement regarding remote meetings. This meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board of the Borough of River Edge is being held remotely and recorded via Zoom due to the COVID-19 pandemic and is in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and associated regulations. Notice of this meeting was published in a Bergen Record on January 8th, 2022, posted on the front doors of Borough Hall and posted on the borough's website. The notice included the dial-in and login information necessary for public participation and access to this meeting remotely. A copy of the agenda for this meeting was made available on the borough's website near the posting of the meeting notice and included the dial-in and login information. During the public comment period of this meeting, if you would like to make a public comment, please press the raise hand button on Zoom or dial *9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand. The board will address you by name or by the last 4 digits of your telephone number. You may mute and unmute yourself by pressing the microphone icon on Zoom or dialing *6 on your telephone keypad. You must state your name and address prior to making a public comment. Members of the public were permitted to submit written comments prior to the meeting via mail or email, which will be read during the public comment period. Okay, Ms. Stilling, would you call the roll, please?
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Present.
Mr. Caslin,
Here.
Ms. Boland. I believe she's absent right now.
Okay.
Mr. Merman.
Here.
Mr. Grasso is excused.
Yes.
Mr. Cray.
Here.
Mr. Arkelian.
Here.
Councilman Kinigo.
Here.
Mr. Gibbons.
Here.
Mr. Pfeffer.
Here.
Mr. Esposito.
Here.
And for the record, Mr. Behrens and Mr. Costa are here, and Mr. Pfeffer and Mr. Esposito will be seated to vote tonight. Unless things will be changing slightly, but Mr. Pfeffer or Mr. Esposito will be seated to vote tonight.
Okay. Thank you for that. Before we get into the agenda items, one housekeeping item just to bring to everyone's attention. This is a request from Ed Alter. Please make sure that you pick up the materials for the next meeting for January 26th. They're somewhat voluminous. I picked up my set today. It's somewhat important that you get those in hand as soon as you can. It's going to take some time to go through them. It is probably one of the more complicated applications that we will have heard in a while. So to the extent you can get to Ed's office, and if Ed's not there, Ed, I think the building department is accessible too. They can get packages distributed up until about 4 o'clock during the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Chris? Ed, are you in tomorrow? I plan on coming in tomorrow. What are your hours tomorrow if you're in?
It's about 7:30 to 2.
Okay. All right. I'll try and come after pickup. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So with that, first item on our agenda this evening is the reorganization of the board. First item up are the election of officers. First position for the chair of the board. Do I have any nominations?
Mr. Chair, I recommend, I move yourself, Chris Caslin, for chair of the Municipal Land Use Board.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Arkelian. Ms. Stinley?
We can do a roll call vote, or we could do a voice vote, whatever you'd like.
Why don't we do a voice vote?
Okay.
That makes things easier.
Yep.
All right. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And look forward to serving another year with you. As the next.
It's doubled in the second year, Chris.
Pardon?
The pay gets doubled in the second year.
As long as I keep getting the checks with Dick's picture on it, I'm good to go. All right. The next position up for election this evening is vice chair. May I have a nomination from the board, please?
Speaking of, Mr. Chairman, speaking of Mr. Merman, dear friend, longtime member of the board, I can't think of anybody more deserving to assist you in your endeavor this year. So I would like to nominate Mr. Merman as the vice chair.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, Mr. Arkalian, thank you. Mr. Gibbons, thank you. I agree. Can't do this job without the benefit of Dick's guidance. He's been helpful, certainly for, I think, throughout all his term of service on the board, and certainly in my tenure as chair. So I wholeheartedly support that. So with that, we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain?
Dang.
There being none other than Mr. Merman, congratulations.
Thank you, folks. We're gonna do the best we can.
All right. Next position up for election this evening is board secretary. May I have a nomination from the board, please?
So another person that I've known for quite a while, and we're fortunate enough to have him on the board for the last few years. And hopefully we'll be following in my footsteps in a very long time. I would like to nominate Ryan to continue as our board secretary. He's done a great job.
Second Mermy.
All right, Mr. Karakalian, Mr. Merman, thank you very much for that. All right, we have a nomination for Mr. Gibbons, board secretary. We'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? All right, congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
All right, moving along. The next item on our agenda this evening is the appointment of professionals to the board. The first position is board attorney. Can we have a nomination, please?
I nominate Ms. Stinley as board attorney.
Okay, may I
I'll
have-
second that. Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, thank you, Mr. Arkalian.
And I believe just, I believe it's the whole, it's the
Yes.
firm.
It's the
that
whole
we-
firm.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
amend that to the entire firm.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Clary, Giacobbe, Alfieri, and Jacobs LLC is the formal name of the firm. So with that nomination in place, may I have we'll take a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? All right.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Finley,
Look forward to
congratulations.
working with you again this year.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Okay, our next professional to be appointed this evening is the planner for the board. May I have a nomination from the board, please?
I'd like to nominate Tom Behrens and Burgess Associates.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibbons. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I think I got Mr. Arkalian in under the wire. So, gentlemen, thank you.
Just a little thing about this nomination, Tom is a homegrown professional. It makes it extra special to have somebody from our town that went through the school system to be able to represent our town the way he does. He does a fabulous job. He never doesn't answer his phone whenever I have to call him for a question. He's been phenomenal. So I thank you, Tom, for your service, and we're looking forward to having you for another year. Speechless.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. It's truly been an honor and a privilege. And I've learned a lot and, we're glad to assist any way we can. So thank you.
You've done a fantastic job, Tom.
All right, with that, let's make it official. Take a vote, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? There being none, congratulations, Tom. Welcome back.
Thanks again.
All right. Our next appointment this evening is the board engineer. May I have a nomination from the floor, please?
So I'll do this one too. And I've used this phrase before, the old expression, where the bones are buried. Our engineer knows where all the pipes are buried. And I just can't imagine anybody representing the town as well as Bob does, even though I'm hoping he's not listening. He does a great job. Another one that you call him up and he always either answers the phone or returns your call. He does a fabulous job for the town. He's been our borough engineer as long as I can remember. And I would like to nominate him to continue that job.
Second, Merman.
All right, Mr. Kelly, thank you. Mr. Merman, thank you. Just for formality's sake, the nomination will make Costa Engineering Corporation the board engineer. So with that, we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? There being none, congratulations.
Mr. Chairman,
Welcome
thank
back.
you. Members of the board, thank you. Mayor, thank you. Jim, just so you know, the reason I wasn't looking up, I just blocked your number on my phone. That was the only reason. Thank you.
Is there a mechanism to withdraw your nomination?
Regular comedy show we got here.
Thanks for all you do.
Tough act to follow. All right.
Thanks.
Our next agenda item this evening is the swearing in of new appointments to the board. Ms. Stinley, I believe we have Mr. Pfeffer as a full member.
Yes,
full
so Mr. Pfeffer will be sworn in as a Class 4 regular member for a 4-year term. Mr. Cray is also renewing his 4-year term as a Class 4 member. Mr. Arkelian renewing his term as a 4-year term as a Class 4 member, and our council liaison, a Class 3 member, Councilman Kinigo, for a 1-year term.
Okay. Could I ask you to do the honors?
So I can do everyone individually, or I can do it just as a group, and then everyone can say whether you're a Class 3 member, Class 4 member, or I guess those are the only two this year.
So Maureen, I was fortunate enough to get sworn in by our mayor at the
Oh, okay, great.
at the mayor and council meeting. So I
right.
don't have to get sworn in again.
Perfect. All right, so then it's just Mr. Cray, Mr. Pfeffer, and Councilman Kinigo. All right,
All right.
so if you please raise your right hand. I, and then state your name.
I, Bruce Pfeffer,
Dario Kinigo.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
And
and justly perform
all of the duties of the office of,
all of the duties
of the
of
office
the
of
office of
and then Class 3 or Class 4 member of the Borough of River Edge Land Use Board,
Class 3 member of the Borough of River Edge Land Use
Borough of
Board,
River Edge Land Use Board,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my
best of
ability.
my ability.
and that I will support
And then I
And
I will support
the Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of this state,
and the
and the
Constitution of this state,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and
and
allegiance
allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state under the authority of the people.
and in this state under the authority of the people.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
That's all.
Congratulations.
I feel like I've just been drafted
For years.
4 years.
All right. Moving along in our agenda, the next item this evening is the approval of minutes. We have a set of draft minutes for December 22nd, 2021. I open it to the board for comments.
Mr. Chairman, I've reviewed the minutes and I accept them as written. And if nobody else has any comments, I will put forward a motion to accept them as written.
I actually just have one comment, Mr. Merman. It has to do with, there's a couple of places. There's reference to 3.3.4%. This is in the, trying to see what page, this is the, I guess on page 2 What comes out is page 2. Under old business. The second paragraph under old business, the paragraph begins, Mr. Barrett. If you read down toward the 7th line, there's reference to 3.4%. I think we just need to clarify what that is. I don't know that you can actually have a 3.4%.
I'll double check that and make the revision.
Okay,
I'll have to check my notes.
okay, that's the only thing I had.
Actually, I think I just noticed a slight spelling error just above that. Under new business, Hernan Green, 199 Bogart, not Bogart. It's like 4 or 5 lines above what Mr. Caslin just referenced.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Those couple of comments, I will entertain a motion to approve. Please.
So made.
Thank you, Mr. Merrill.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbons. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? Being none, we will, the minutes are approved. All right. We do not have any memorializations this evening, so we will move on to completeness review. And it is at this time that I am going to cede control of the meeting to our vice chairman, Mr. Merman, as unfortunately I am conflicted out because I reside within 200 feet of the next application. So, Mr. Merman,
Okay, thank you.
hand it over to you.
And boy, you get off early tonight, huh?
I do.
Okay.
Happy New Year
so
all. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Caslin.
Bye,
Take
Chris.
care.
Bye-bye.
Do we have the applicant with us? We're going to be looking at the Syrian application at 275 Concord Drive, block 705, lot 1. Do we have a representative here present?
Yes, we do. Hi.
Okay. Marina, do you want to swear him in now, or do you want to wait till after the completeness review?
We could wait until after the completeness and then we
Okay.
can just do everything at once.
Okay. So we're gonna have basically, for your information, this is gonna be a 2-part hearing here. Right now, we're gonna go over a completeness review, which basically says that your paperwork is in order. And once that is determined, we will review and consider the application. So Tom, you want to tell us about this application and any completeness that you're involved with?
Sure. It's an application for an addition to an existing single-family home, and it happens to be a corner lot, so there variance relief is required for the 2 proposed front yard setbacks. I've reviewed the application materials, which include the property survey as well as the plans for the property, and everything seems to be in order in terms of completeness to move forward
Okay.
tonight.
I guess, Marina, have you received all the necessary paperwork, and is it in order?
Yes, prior to the meeting, I had the opportunity to review the application and the proof submitted by the applicants, and they meet the minimum requirements of the municipal land use law. So the board has jurisdiction to proceed tonight.
Okay, so we're ready to consider a vote for this completeness?
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody wants to make a motion regarding the completeness of this application, we'll listen.
So moved, Mike Craig.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all right. Can we take a voice vote? Marina?
We usually do a roll call.
Got
I
it.
can do that now.
Great.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Councilman Kenigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeffer,
Yes.
and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
And for the record, Mr. Esposito is seated to vote tonight. And the motion passes.
Okay. All right, so now we're ready to move on to the second part. This point, you want to swear in the applicant before we get into the consideration?
Yes, so if the applicants, I see two of you there. So I'll have to swear you both in and you'll state your name. Oh, I'll swear you in first, so you can raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do, yes.
Okay. And then please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record. And I'll just have to have both of you do that, please.
Sure. Danielle Sarian, Sariyan, 275 Concord Drive.
You can put your
Right.
hand down.
Okay, yep.
Thank you.
And Mr. Sarian?
Alex Sarian, Sariyan, 275 Concord Drive in River Edge.
Okay, and do you have any professionals here with you tonight?
Yes, we have our architect, Michael Doster. He's on as well.
Okay. Mr. Doster, could I also swear you in as well? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record. And then please provide the board with some background on your qualifications and if you've ever presented before the board before.
Sure. My name is Michael Doster, Doster. I have a Master's of Science in Sustainable Design, as well as the Master's in Architecture. I'm a licensed architect. My license is active and in good standings in the state of New Jersey. And I have presented and been accepted amongst numerous boards.
Okay, and could you provide your address, please? Your business
I
address is
apologize.
fine.
Absolutely.
right.
It's 295 Bloomfield Ave, Suite C, Caldwell, New Jersey, 07006. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion accepting the architect's credentials?
So moved.
Second,
Second? Anybody?
second,
Thank you. Okay, all in favor, we'll take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, deny? Or
Okay.
abstain? Hearing none, his credentials are accepted. I guess the best thing to do right now is the applicant can briefly state, give us a synopsis of your application for the board for the record.
Sure. So my name again is Danielle, and this is my husband, Alex. So thank you all for taking the time to meet with us regarding our application for 275 Concord Drive. We're looking to undergo an addition and alteration. As stated before, we are on a corner lot property, so we're seeking 2 front yard variances. We have been residents here for about 4 years. We love everything about this town. We started just the 2 of us, and our family has greatly grown over the past couple of years. We now have 3 girls under the age of 3. Our one daughter just turned 3 on Christmas, and we have twin girls that are turning 1 next week. So we've really utilized every single inch of our home. We need more living space. We don't want to move. We really love our neighbors and where we're located. So we're looking to expand and stay in River Edge. Look forward to the girls attending the school systems and all the activities and all the great things in this town. So we also have, as you said, Michael here to help with any more technical questions. And that's the gist of it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Tom, would this be a good point for you to explain the required variances?
Sure. I was just going to ask Mr. Doster if he might give us
Okay.
just a brief overview of the existing
Great.
conditions of the property and, essentially why the applicant's, requesting the variances. This
Okay.
evening.
Great.
Sure. I think I can assist in just walking through what we're seeking. So as Alex and Danielle said, thank you so much for hearing our application. They're very similar to many families that we see. Their families are rapidly expanding and they're finding that their existing house is just not suiting their needs. So they're in that predicament of, do we look for a new home or do we stay where we are and look to add an addition or an alteration? So after much discussion, they have decided that they simply did not want to leave River Edge, which brings us here today. So as previously submitted, if you will please refer to sheet A-01, it should be a site plan and bulk schedule. It was submitted to the board. If you look to the left-hand side, on A-1, you will see the existing site survey, which is prepared by the Leaper Land Group. And then if you refer to A-7, you will see our proposed addition. And as previously stated, their lot is on the corner of Concord Drive and Fifth Ave. And we are proposing an addition to the right-hand side of the existing structure, which would put us beyond both of the 30-foot front yard setbacks. So if you look on Concord Drive, we will be at 21.07 feet. And on Fifth Avenue, we will be 25.69 feet. With that said, one of the existing non-conforming, I'm sorry, one of the existing setbacks on Concord Drive is existing non-conforming. So we're seeking relief for both front yard setbacks. At this time, would the board want me to continue or?
So those are the variances that you're requesting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tom, would you like to comment?
Sure. And before I do, I just had one question. So Mr. Doster, in working with the Sarians and coming up with a design for the property, did you guys look into, potentially developing a conforming addition? And basically, can you tell the board how you ended up where you did in terms of the design and, why this is a better alternative versus a conforming addition?
Sure. So if you please refer to sheet A-02, I can walk you through the floor plans and show you and pretty much explain as to why we came to these decisions. A-02 is proposed floor plans for the board, for the record. A-1, you will see the first floor plan. And on the first floor, we're looking to essentially expand the family room. You'll see a gas fireplace there, as well as a new larger kitchen and a dining room space. The addition on the first floor is 15 foot, 5.5 inches. You will also see that we are utilizing the existing concrete slab and we're proposing a new front portico. On the second floor, just to give all of the girls an appropriate sized bedroom, we are proposing a master suite for Alex and Danielle on the right-hand side. So you'll see they have their master bedroom on the lower portion of the page, 2 closets, followed by a master bathroom. One of the bedrooms will then essentially become, one of the existing bedrooms will be utilized as an office, just given the current circumstances with COVID and at home working. We think that was definitely something that they would utilize. So following that, we can then refer to sheet A-03, which brings us to the proposed exterior elevations. And honestly, in our opinion, we feel that the aesthetics of the proposed home is very fitting for the neighborhood. We have a stone veneer for the lower portion of the house with a nice water table. It's a vinyl siding followed by a new asphalt roof. We have some new board and batten siding as just a detail on one of the gables. But we think it's very fitting for the neighborhood and would be a great upgrade and addition for this house.
So again, I think you touched on it. Sort of what's driving the need for the addition on this side of the house is the existing configuration of the house and specifically the garage that you don't want to mess with that. So your only logical place to have an addition is toward essentially the right or the west.
That is correct. Without essentially redoing the entire garage area and the entire side of the home, this area is the most fitting for the addition. And we need to essentially expand beyond that setback. simply to fit decent sized bedrooms. Because some of the bedrooms for the children aren't even that large. So that is why we're looking to expand to that width.
All right, appreciate it. And Mr. Merman, if I could just add a few other observations and then maybe
Correct.
we'll open up to the board if that's all right. So the subject property happens to be, as I mentioned, it's a corner lot. It's actually an oversized property at a little over 10,000 square feet. As was mentioned, it has an existing non-conforming front yard setback of 22.7 feet from Concord Drive. The new proposed setback on Concord is 21.87 feet. And the proposed setback on the Fifth Ave frontage is 25.69 feet. And again, the applicant's architect stated the reason, for the addition in that location is because of how the house is currently situated. I'll note that in reviewing an aerial image of the surrounding development, that it appears that the house directly across the street, also on the corner of Concord and Fifth, 276 Concord Drive, has almost an identical addition with a projection into the Fifth Ave front yard. And I would also note that this proposed addition would be somewhat in line with the neighbor to the rear on Fifth Avenue, which I believe is 504 Fifth. So it would seem to be in keeping with the immediate surrounding development, at least based on my observations of the aerial imagery. It does seem that because it's a corner lot and the house is where it is, that there may be some element of a hardship in this case, in terms of the statutory criteria. And again, there is some support to indicate that it's consistent with the surrounding development. I note that there's no proposed rear amenity shown, such as a patio or a deck, but because it's such a large lot, they actually have about a 10% cushion of coverage for which to implement a patio or deck, and they could come in for a subsequent permit for that without any issues. So that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Okay, I have two comments for you on that, and one is more of a clarification for the board. If you look at the original survey, it shows a front yard variance of 20 feet and refers to a prior filed map, which is the FM notation. So it appears that when this area was subdivided, that setback was originally set at 20 feet. Today it is 30 feet. And therefore, as a result, it's the non-conforming setback, correct?
That would appear to be the case.
Okay, all right. Just for the members, it took me a while to figure out what was going on. Okay, the other question I have for you, Mr. Behrens, is in your original October the 5th letter of non-compliance, you had a paragraph and a mention that the vertical height had yet to be submitted or confirmed to the building department. Are you satisfied that this application now has satisfied that?
Well, when I originally reviewed the plans, there were no elevations. So now we have been provided elevations and the architect has provided height calculations. So it seems that the average building height is under the maximum permitted height of 30 feet, and it's a relatively flat lot. So it doesn't seem to be an issue.
So I just wanted to address that since it appeared to be an exception on your compliance letter. And I also believe, Mr. Costa, you're on board? Yes.
Mr. Merman, I am. And
Yeah,
again,
I just to continue with this thought, I looked at your report and your report signifies that it is under the 30 feet. It's 29 and a fraction.
Correct.
So any question about the height has since been resolved and eliminated. Okay, now let's move forward if we can. Does the applicant care to make any further comments before we seek input from the board members?
Yes, I would just like to clarify one item, and I apologize. It was a mistake on our part. As you can see, that the letter that was issued on January 10th by the Borough of River Edge, we're actually, the front yard for the Concord Drive is actually 21.07, not 21.87. I realize that it's a minimal fraction of a difference. However, I just wanted to be as transparent as possible.
I believe I read 21.07 on your drawing.
That is correct. The drawings reflect the correct number. That revision
Okay.
was made, I guess, prior to this letter being issued.
Okay, all right, very good.
Thank you.
Once again, at this point, does the applicant care to add anything before we solicit comments from the board members?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Not hearing any, we'll get some comments from the board members. Is Miss Boland here? I didn't quite catch whether Eileen Boland was here or not. She's absent?
He's absent, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we'll jump down. Okay, Mr. Gibbons, since I have you on the screen, you can give us any comments that you might have.
Sure. Just on that front yard setback. So I know we're on non-conforming now, but we are making that further. We're going closer to the street with this addition.
Slightly on the Concord Drive side,
Okay.
simply because the road slants on the property.
Okay, so we're adding just steps or portico or something going forward.
Yeah, we're doing it's a 12-inch bump out that is going on to that section.
Okay. And just going along somewhat with Mr. Barron's mentioned earlier, was there any thought to pulling it back a little bit? So we're looking at 10.7% going over on the Fifth Avenue side. Was there a reasonable alternative that was available to keep it around 30?
Sure. So we tried numerous configurations as far as the floor plan is concerned, even having an addition greater towards the rear of the house. And it simply didn't work as far as just working out structural numbers and trying to figure out rough bedroom sizes. So we honestly think that the right-hand side was the greatest location for the addition.
Okay. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Mr. Craig.
Yeah, just one question, just clarification, because I'm seeing numbers that look like they're transposed. If you look at your drawing AL1 and you look at the bulk yard requirement chart that you have, on the front yard setback, you're showing existing 22.7 feet at Concord, which looks correct. But then you have proposed is 25.69 feet at Concord. Isn't that the Fifth Avenue number?
Yes, that is correct. Those two are
Okay.
flipped. I did realize that.
So what's happening is we're going from 22.7 to 21.07 on Concord.
That is correct.
And we're going from 40.7 to 25.7 roughly on Fifth.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so it's more like 15 feet closer. Okay. All right, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Pfeiffer.
No comments. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Esposito.
No comment.
Oh. Okay. Mr. Mayor.
No comment. I'm good.
Oh. Councilman Chuningo.
No comment. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Arakarian, the last time you said I let you go first, and this time I'm gonna let you go a little bit later.
I really don't have anything. I looked, I did have a question on the height, and that was answered.
Okay.
So at this point, yeah, I think most of the questions were answered. I know that there's, I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. Marina, I didn't quite catch the name of the new appointee. I think it sounded like Favors. is
No,
that- is
Mr.
that-
Pfeffer is appointed to be a regular member.
Okay, so other than myself, I've called on everybody.
Yes, and we have to
Okay.
open up to the public too.
Well, I'm not done yet because you're gonna get my
Okay.
comments. I've toured the site a couple of times. I'm familiar with the area. And I recognize what you're doing. I have one comment and it's more of a safety comment. When you drive up Concord towards Fifth Avenue, there's a stop sign. When I look to the left, to the left, which is south along Fifth Avenue, there's a huge shrubbery at that intersection on your property at the corner. It's a very old Texas yew. It stands probably 6 to 8 feet high, and the width is very similar. It actually impedes the sight distance looking going up towards Fifth, looking at the traffic coming from the south. I would like you to consent to remove that bush for safety purposes. In fact, in order to get a very close look of anything oncoming, whether it be vehicle or pedestrian traffic along that sidewalk, you have to actually inch your car close to the Fifth Avenue curb. So what I'm really asking you to do, and I'm not certain if you realize the situation, I would like you to remove that obstruction, that piece of bush, which was probably planted 60 years ago as a little bush.
Yeah, old Google images actually show that old yew like a small little baby shrub.
Yeah, and that was probably planted after the house was built in the late 1940s, early 50s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
We 100%.
Yes,
Take it
okay, thank you. If you can remove that and even replace it with something a couple of feet high or put in, my point is, I'm not restricting the planting. I'm not suggesting to restrict the plant. I'm just suggesting that we eliminate a safety concern.
Yeah, 100%. The trees, landscaping in the town, we appreciate a lot. I think we have plans of putting maybe a dogwood.
Okay,
that
or
corner.
you could put, yes, you could put a tree, a dogwood, a birch, anything. Probably anything more of a hardwood that wouldn't branch out like a conifer. Oh, okay, that's great. All right. Yeah, I noticed that, and I say, wow, this isn't too good. We have school children walking uphill from the school down the hill. Did I miss any board members or anybody at this point on the board wish to make anything further before we open it to the public?
My only comment was in Mr. Costa's letter. It also advised that the sanitary sewer should be TV inspected. Should that also be a requirement of the resolution?
Well, Mr. Costa has his standard comments, which we normally incorporate into the memorialization anyway, or the resolution. So, yeah, and that,
Okay.
yeah. So can we open it to the public at this point? Can we have a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Early. Thank you. Okay. So we'll open it to the public. And
It looks like there is a member, an individual in the public in attendance, Jan Halder. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand and I'll promote you. To raise your hand, you can press *9 if you're not calling on the phone, or press the raise hand button on Zoom. Doesn't look, oh, there we go. Okay, Ms.
Uh,
could you
Calder.
please just state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record before making your comment?
Jan Halder, 249 Concord.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Good luck and congratulations on your twins. I didn't know you had twins.
Thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay,
That's
thank
it?
you.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you for your comments and concerns.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and that was it. That was the only individual
Okay.
in the public.
So can we have a motion to close it to the public, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Very good. All right, any further discussion by the board members? Not hearing any at this point, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Merman. I would move to, I want to make sure I get the lot and block right. Move that 275 Concord Drive, block 705, lot 1, which I believe is correct, be granted variances for front yard setback, 2 variances for front yard setback for Concord Drive and Fifth Avenue, and will abide by all advisements from Mr. Costa and take out all permits. So I move to approve.
You want to mention removal of the existing,
And yes, and they would have removed the planting on the corner of Fifth Avenue and Concord for safety reasons.
is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Any discussion? Not hearing any discussion? No.
Okay.
All right. Not hearing any, I'll ask Marina to take a roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Councilman Kinigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeffer,
Yes.
Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
All right, the motion passes. Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Very good.
Congratulations. Look, nothing like the big smile with people that just got approved.
Yes, and I wish all of them went this smoothly, okay? All right, let's move on. We have a section called board member comments. I have one comment, which is really a question to Mr. Behrens. Have we, River Ridge, received our census report?
Well, some data is available online. I don't know the extent to which anything's been submitted to the borough directly, but I do believe things are behind to some degree because, again, it was the 2020 census in the midst of COVID. So I think they're behind in updating all of the data, but I think at least some of it is available on the government website.
All right, because I personally am looking as a board member forward to reading that and getting a bird's eye view of what our town looks like. All right, well, so we still haven't received anything of any consequence. Okay, any comments by any other board members?
Just a point of clarification, do we have a work session next week? Is that what we have scheduled?
Yes, on the 18th, we have a work session scheduled and it's been noticed in the paper.
Okay, I saw the double zooms. I just wanted to make sure that I had it right, that we were on for next Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
We had given an approval a while ago to the strip mall in Kinderkmack, and there were several conditions to that approval. I'm pleased to say that the Bessler door situation, the tripping
Yes.
hazard on Monroe has been rectified finally. And with the new fencing and everything, I would say they're pretty close to compliant. So I'm very happy about that.
Yes, I did notice that, Mr. Eric Killian. Well, we're on that. Mr. Costa, you still online? Mr.
He's there.
Costa?
Yeah,
He's
Here,
on.
okay.
yeah, I'm here, Chairman.
Just an observation, similar to Mr. Eric Killian's. When I drive by Sonny G's operation on, well, I forget what the street name is. He now has a tent up, and his resolution said that his tent was a structure and that you were to review it for structural safety. Did you ever get to look at it? Did he ever come before you?
No, I don't know if it went from the building, if he applied to the building department, I have no idea. He can come to me.
I would suggest maybe that you can pull the minutes of the memorialization of that application, because if I recall, I made the motion and the motion was said that before he erected anything, because it was quite large with a slab and everything, that the borough engineer will review it for structural stability, especially during windstorms. So maybe you look at that for us, please.
Well, I would think with, Chairman, with flooding, that would probably be in Newark Bay, where it is, right, where it's constructed right now. It'd probably heading towards Newark Bay and then probably to the Kilvan Cove, heading in that direction. But I will check tomorrow with Nicole.
Yeah, you might go back and look at that memorialization resolution and a memorialization. I was more concerned because basically it was a room with a hard new slab and some columns and the cladding, as you see, which is basically an awning. And I was concerned at the time about the stability during, well, let's say hurricane winds, which are 110 miles an hour design. So if you could check that, I'd appreciate it.
This will come as a shock, but I haven't even been back there. So I will certainly, tomorrow I'll check it and I'll, like I said, I'll call Nicole in the building department and see if they submitted any drawings or anything.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
I think I do remember I thought they did submit a tent plan with that application. But I could be wrong.
Yes, but if I recall, the motion said that the borough engineer was supposed to check it structurally particularly under wind conditions.
Okay.
All right, and I see it erected, and I was just curious as to whether the borough engineer did look at it. All right, we'll hear back from Mr. Costa.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. See, I thought you had nothing to do tomorrow. Look at that.
We have, Chairman, we have plenty to do, plenty.
That's what I like to hear. That's
Right.
great. Everything's cranking the economy. Okay. Any other comments from the board members? Not hearing any?
Mr. Merman, just clarification on the work session. Is it Wednesday next week or Tuesday? I thought it was the 18th for some
It's
reason.
the 18th.
I think I misspoke, Mr.
So
Barron.
that'd be Tuesday. I just wanted to clarify, just for my own schedule.
I realized that after I said it.
Okay.
So it is the 18th.
Tuesday,
correct?
Tuesday the 18th, yep.
All right, whatever day of the week it is. That's
Tuesday,
fine,
the 18th.
Okay, very good. All right. All right, so everybody is obviously not bashful tonight. That's great.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just say congratulations to our officers and to our appointed professionals. We are grateful in River Edge for everything they do and continue to do for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And Mayor, just one thing, while I have the councilman is still on, I think, and yourself, and obviously the rest of the board. This morning, Suez was down by Park in Lincoln. We've had a leak down there for some time. We contacted United Water, or Suez rather. There must have been 4 trucks out there. I stopped. I said, do you think there's a water main leak here? They said, we think so. The water was pouring out of the street. It's been pouring out of the street for probably at least a week or more that I know of.
Good
So they
God.
finally got there today and they're going to schedule the repairs. And
Super.
hopefully we don't we don't lose the new street that we just paved there. So this will be another fight, I'm sure, with Suez, but we're on top of it, Jason and myself. So I just wanted, well, I got you guys here. I just wanted to tell you that.
Great.
Mr. Costa, thank you for that information, and thank you for all that you do fighting for us with all the different utilities and services.
I mean, Kindercamack Road, not that I have this thing, Wayne Avenue and Kindercamack, we do a brand new intersection improvement only to have public service dig up the brand new sidewalk to put a pole where they're not going to put a pole, and then send the contractor out there to saw cut a slab that makes absolutely no sense. So the veins in my neck were out about 3.5 inches a few weeks ago. When I saw it the other day, the opposite side of my neck was out. So that will be another fight with public service. And maybe what needs to happen is they need to come in front of the council and just maybe some sort of an explanation why they would actually do what they did, which makes absolutely no sense. But I say to the people, there is no lack of stupidity, none.
Mr. Costa, I have been following this on all the email traffic that's been going back and forth. You're doing a great job of defending us in this area and being proactive. Why don't we have a conversation by phone sometime tomorrow or the next day?
You got it. Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to bring you up to speed. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Costa, thank you. Maybe we should get some Army surplus Humvee or something for you, all right? Maybe we can get a machine gun on top. Maybe we'll get responses at that point.
Mr. Chairman, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Second.
Okay. That not hearing, or it almost sounds like not wanting to hear anymore. But not hearing any more comments from the board members, can we get a motion to close the meeting?
I just did that. So
Second.
just for a second somewhere.
Okay, you all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor, did you get that video I sent you, by the way?
All right.
No, I did not, Mr. O'Kelly.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
send it, resend it. You'll like it. It's pretty cool.
All
All
right,
right,
thank you.
so the motion's passed, meeting's closed. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
yeah,
everyone.
good
Hi,
night.
everyone.
Stay warm.